Welcome to Bible by the Fire in DAYZ, where we study the Bible by a fire in DAYZ every single Sunday on this channel. If you want more Bible study, I'm starting a second channel. It launches tomorrow. It will be a Bible study every day, Monday through Friday, chapter by chapter for 1,189 episodes. We will read every verse of the Bible together and study it all. So subscribe. The link is below, and that starts tomorrow. For today, just a little hook. There was a night where I was woke up around 2:15, 2:20 in the a.m. There was clanging and clamoring in my kitchen. Someone was in my house. The neighbor to my left had been burglarized once. The neighbor to my right had a home invasion while he was asleep in the middle of the night with his wife, and they'd been broken into a second time. And 4 houses down from me, a man had been tied to a chair, beat nearly to death, and they stole all of his tools. And now I guess it's my turn, and I have 2 little girls sleeping in the room next to me, my 2 daughters. Pause that story. Years previous to this, we wanted to get a dog when our kids were really little. We wanted them to grow up with a dog, so we went to a dog shelter, and it was chaos. There were big dogs running wild, barking, but there was one boxer mixed with something, but we're just going to say for your visual, it was a boxer. He was sitting in the middle of the chaos and the dust, just staring at us calmly. You could see there was a strength in his eyes. We asked about him. They said, yeah, that's Shaq. He's a survivor. I mean, it's hard to feed all the dogs because they're so ravenous out here, and there's fights. He's tough. He holds his own, but as you can see, he hasn't been eating enough. He'd been kicked around by his previous owners who were drug addicts, so he was abused, put in this dog kennel, and we ended up, I could just see it in his eyes. He had a strength and a calmness, and I loved it. We brought him home, and he was our dog, and he really bonded with my kids. And that night, when we heard that noise in the kitchen, I went ahead and grabbed my self-defense tool so that I don't offend people who don't agree with these types of defense tools. I'll just call it a home defense tool, but it had a .45 on the side of it, if you know what I mean. I'm just kidding. It was a gun. And so I grabbed my gun off the nightstand, and you know why I had a gun. I didn't even really care to buy a gun, but with the home invasion to my right, burglary to my right, a burglary to my left, and a man getting beat nearly to death 4 houses down, all in the same block in the same 6-month time span, I thought, you know what, this broomstick under my bed is not going to get it done, and I have 2 little kids and a wife to defend, and I don't even know karate. So I went ahead and bought a firearm. And when I heard this, there's no other explanation. There is someone in my house. And I opened my door slowly, looked down the hallway, and down the hall to the left is kind of the kitchen, living room area. Down the hallway to the right is my 2 daughters' room. And there, with his hind legs in my daughter's room and his front legs in the hallway, watching something or someone carefully, was my dog Shaq. He stood between whoever or whatever was in my house and my 2 sleeping babies. What a guy. He had been forged by the fire. He had a strength in him that only came from the trials he had been through. He had a loyalty in him that is only coming from the love of a family. And it all came together in that moment. And I kind of honed in. I still remember seeing the vivid details of the texture on the wall. It's amazing what happens in those situations, how that extra sensory perception kicks in. And I waited to see who or what was going to come around that hallway, and likely they would be Dunzo. Something turned that corner. It was the last thing I had expected to see. It was a wolf, and no, I'm not dreaming. As it got a little closer, I realized it's not a wolf. That's a Siberian Husky. It was some neighborhood dog had got out digging through fence, looking for food, digging under fences, and he got to my yard and walked in our dog door and was making a mess in my kitchen and came around the corner, and I knew this was a domesticated dog. It wasn't anything wild. He came up to me and sat on his hind legs just going, and I'm thinking, dog, you have no idea how close you just came to being done with this world. But I love that story because my dog, Shaq, was refined in the fire, in the furnace of affliction, yet combining that with the love of a family, he was someone to be reckoned with. Love and toughness combined. And the Lord is working that in us. If you're going through a hard time, it can either make you bitter or it can make you better. The difference is in the I, in how I respond. Will it make you bitter or will it make you better? Isaiah 48:10. Behold, I have refined you, but not as silver. I have tried you in the furnace of affliction. I'm refining you. My dog had gone through that process, and God allows things in our life to toughen us up. The replacement dog we got for him when he died looks exactly like him. However, he was adopted by us as a puppy. He grew up in a wonderful environment, never had to fight for anything in his life, and he has no survival instinct. He loves the kids, he loves the family, but he will routinely just lay on his back with all of his organs exposed. He doesn't bark at the door. He doesn't care who comes and goes. Life is one big carnival, and everyone is his friend. And the people he doesn't know, they're just friends he hasn't met yet. And so he has no survival instinct because he's been through nothing. Every meal has been handed to him. But Shaq, my good old dog, man, I'm grateful for what he had went through because he was there for my kids. And I wonder often if we didn't get burglarized like the rest of the neighborhood because of him. If while we were gone, he held down the fort, and I'll never know. I love that guy. R.I.P. Shaq. Actually, my daughter's nickname is now Shaq, kind of after him. Like her basketball team started calling her that. Nonetheless, carrying on. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 7. So that the testing genuineness of your faith is more precious than gold that perishes, even though it is tested by the fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Christ Jesus. Gold, as precious as it is, will one day fade away, but your faith is more precious than that, and your faith is refined in the furnace, in the fire of life. Makes you tougher, makes you stronger. That, combined with the love of God, can make you an incredibly strong family member, an incredibly strong person of faith. Someone who, like my dog, stands with their hind legs in the room and their front legs ready for war. That guy was awesome. God is working that in us. Malachi chapter 3, verses 2 and 3. For he is like the refiner's fire. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he will purify the sons of Levi and refine them like gold and like silver. The Lord is refining us. And really the only way for that to happen is in the furnace of affliction, to heat things up. So if you're going through something right now, you're going through that affliction, you're in the fire, you're in the furnace, it will either make you better or it will make you bitter. The difference is the eye, what's inside you. Will you allow God to build something inside of you? If you got something out of this, put a fire emoji in the comments. Help send it further in the algorithms. If you would, post it on your social media. That helps incredibly. This is a strong message, and I think it will encourage many people who listen to it. And the best thing you can do right now is go below this video, click the link to my new channel, press subscribe, and starting at 6 a.m. Eastern, every day, Monday through Friday, there will be a Bible study coming out. And these Bible studies will go chapter by chapter, verse by verse through the entire Bible. It's going to be absolutely epic, and we'll grow together through this. I think we'll forge some great friendships as we study the Word together every day. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep carrying the fire.